The Ghost of Medway Services. A story by Neil M Thorne. Part 1. Of all the places the ghost could have died, he never imagined the toilets of Medway Services being the place he took his last laboured breath. Really, it should have come as no shock, as, up until the moment his heart exploded, he had never lived the healthiest of lifestyles. A diet of roadside breakfasts and going from one cigarette to the next without so much as stopping for breath finally took its toll. Following a long moment of darkness, the ghost awoke in confusion to find himself laying on a dirty floor. In that moment he knew the truth, but was not yet ready to face it, and so instead focused on the fact his things were missing. He must have been set upon, although why no one had gone out of their way to help him since only served to fuel his indignation. He stormed out of the toilets, failing to notice that he didn't need to open the doors to get out. What surprised him in that moment was how late it was. Night had fallen, but he had arrived in the morning. He can't have been there all this time unnoticed, and was now even more annoyed, for he had missed an important meeting. There was hardly anyone about, but soon the ghost saw a cleaner going about her work, and, charging up, demanded she call the police, but the woman simply carried on as if he wasn't even there. He very nearly reached out to shake her, but couldn't quite bring himself to do so. Instead, he turned away in search of someone else to bother, and, at one of the cafes, found a server chatting with someone in the kitchen. He shouted, but they ignored him as well. He left them, unsure what to do next, until noticing the exit and remembering his car. The doors, however, would not slide open, and frustrated, he tried again, but they remained permanently closed. As he walked away, they then opened, although only for 2 truckers now entering the services. He turned to slip through, but they closed too quickly. He swore, and was about to head back inside when noticing someone else parking up, and so decided to wait. When the doors opened again, the ghost went to walk out into the night, but the way was still barred, and it was like trying to push through treacle. When the door closed, he howled in frustration, failing to notice the man who had just passed by did not hear him in the slightest. Giving up, the ghost headed back in and found the 2 truckers ordering food. He cut in, demanding help, but nothing. Desperate now, he pleaded, but it was as if everyone were having a joke at his expense. He was almost ready to accept the truth in that moment, but instead fixed upon something else. Perhaps his things were still in the toilets, and so quickly made his way back, unable to shift the sense of impending dread the closer he got. Of course there was nothing to be found. It had all been cleared away hours before. Then, as he continued searching, a man left one of the cubicles, almost walking through him. He shouted, but was ignored. He yelled right at him, but all the man did was lean in and check his reflection, which was when the truth was finally realized. Having avoided it until then, the ghost now looked to his own reflection, or rather lack of it. He had noticed before, but chose to ignore it, and only then did he remember. Running late because of traffic, an angry phone call, a meeting cancelled, the useless staff making his day all the more worse, a sudden stabbing pain in his heart, fear that this was where it would all end, and then finally pleading for help that would never get there in time. He was undeniably dead, and the ghost could not imagine a worse fate than being trapped in one of the worst motorway services in the entire country. Thank you for listening, and if you have enjoyed part 1 of The Ghost of Medway Services, please follow and subscribe for part 2.